What's up, Matrix Minds? I love you. Give me just a second real fast. You guys know I always want to get it posted to my page. But this is Breaking the Cage. And let me repost it really fast. One more place and then we're good to go. Yay. Dude, let me just tell you the amount of energy. If you are not already feeling it, holy moly, holy moly. Get your incense for the next 2 weeks. Get your incense, get your oils, get your things that put you in that higher vibration. Keep yourself in that higher vibration. We're going to talk about vibration tonight and understanding it. Maybe let me put it to you this way. We're finally getting to where we're starting to get into a little bit more advanced spirituality, a little bit more advanced understanding energy, and really dealing with our vibration as we start to grow. I see Morgan. She's like, and my sage. I always hold my white sage for when it's like super needed. But I'm more of a dragon's blood person and sandalwood person. They just keep me in my happy place. So yeah, that's where I have to go. Let me just say, okay, before I get into anything, this is Breaking the Cage, Astrology TV. It is for August 28th through September 3rd. But the amount of energy that's coming in is crazy. I was saying last week, the spirit was telling us, they're here with me. The spirit was telling us this energy for especially this 2 weeks is really going to feel a lot like an emotional, vibrational cleansing, bathing cleanse or a reset. And if you saw the little meme I put up, I was putting with it, the way spirit was showing me it was that from the movie The Vikings, or the show The Vikings, and they're in that boat and it's just the storm, and I was putting up there, Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah. There's a reason. Spirit was giving it to me that way because they were helping me understand part of the vibrational shifting that's going on, along with the resetting. And like I said, there's so much more. We're finally moving into more advanced spiritual practice. And this is where I'm going to take some time, slow down, and really explain it to you. Let me have a sip of my coffee here. I need coffee because I've had a long day and I was ready to fall asleep about an hour ago. All right. Not to mention, I've been stating you hear every other astrologer out there with however many retrogrades and whatnot that's going to be going on. And technically, as of September 3rd, the day this ends, that entire next week, part of the week after, you are going to have 11 planets or planetary energies in retrograde. You already have several now, but there's going to be more adding on. And then right after that, you're going to have Jupiter coming in, I believe. So it's just going to keep going. But you're going to have technically 11 planets in retrograde for 13 days starting on Sunday next week. Uranus is in retrograde until January. Mercury will be in retrograde until the 15th. On the 15th is a new moon in Virgo. This has everything to do with what we're dealing with right now. Then you have Neptune, which is going to be in retrograde until December. Pluto is in retrograde until October. Venus comes out of retrograde on the 3rd, on Sunday. You have Saturn that is in retrograde until November. Chiron is in retrograde until December. Eris Like I said, I'm getting into planets that a lot of people don't talk about. Eris is in retrograde until January, and then you have Nessus, Cardiclaw, and I think Polos. Like I said, so I'm getting into so much more than what most people are looking at. Now, the reason Spirit gave me Michael, row your boat ashore is because they were helping me see that bathing cleanse and reset that's coming in so that I could be targeted in the right way as to what I'm going to talk to you all about tonight. And in that song, because I'm not a very church going person, but you know, I grew up knowing the songs and stuff. So as soon as I started hearing it, I knew that I had to look up why. And it goes, Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah, and da da da. But then it starts speaking to you about the River Jordan is chilly and cold. It's chilly to the body, but not to the soul. The soul is everlasting. The soul is indestructible. Your ego in this three-dimensional body, however, is not. And you are going to feel that negativity. You're going to feel like you're walking through that emotional storm right now. But then the song goes on to remind us, and here's where I always talk about the margins. When I'm always talking to you all about every vibration has a margin, a high part of the margin and a low part of the margin. Just like the tree of life, as above, so below. But I always speak like, in the margin, there's the higher perspective and there's the lower perspective. And then you move to a new margin. And then you move to a new margin. This is how you start to get into dimensional energies. And you start becoming more advanced. In that song, it says the River Jordan is deep and wide. We're talking about the margins here. Then it says, remember, more or less in that song, milk and honey is on the other side. If you want to get all biblical, the River Jordan is speaking about the Ark of the Covenant and coming into the new life. This is exactly why they're giving me it. Now, we have a full moon that's coming in. This is where you're going to think that most of that energy is coming from. And it is, because it's in that 12th house of Pisces. But what Spirit is telling me is don't pay attention so much to the Mercury in the astrology this week, but pay attention to Pallas. This is Athena, the warrior goddess. Athena, the warrior goddess, she's known for strategically thinking. And they're giving me this in complete green energy. For me, this is all about growth. And are you growing? And are you understanding the advancement of this growth so that it can really, truly move us forward? But let me go back to the full moon. The full moon is taking place in Pisces right on top of Nessus. Nessus is the curse, okay? Technically, it is viewed as the curse of energies, of ancestral energies. It is like the negatives that just keep popping up over and over and over again. But ancestrally, this is where they bring me back to Pallas and Virgo, directly across from each other. This has to do with patterns. Key. This has to do with patterns. Your 12th house, universally, is where your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities. It's meant to be the healing house, but it's got the flip side. Everything has a flip side. The flip side is where we're not healing. It's where we're comfortable in our comfort zone, where we don't know any better but to be part of our comfort zone because we haven't experienced past our comfort zone. So a lot of times we get a little stuck in this comfort zone. We don't mean to be in it, but it's the only thing we know. That's part of that sheep mentality. That's part of that way of the hive mind. And as I like to put it from, you know, the movie itself of The Matrix, you're still plugged in to their way of thinking. And what you haven't learned how to shed that and come back to soulfulness. Hold on. What Spirit is saying as I go into explaining this is in a form. Can you starve out the negativity? Can you not pay attention to it? Can you not participate in its negative energy? Like flat out, don't participate, don't connect with it. Because this is all part of the trick of that comfort zone of going back to your human ego and reacting instead of realizing these are patterns? Can you starve out the negativity? It's like they say, one of the best ways to get rid of a problem is to not address it. Not a problem, but is to not give it attention. Just like when I have to deal with, demonic things that I'm having to work with and move that. I'm not going to feed it negative energy. I'm not going to play into its game. The point is, you have to step into that kind of energy as I am the commander, and I command you to do as I say. So when we're talking about the negative energy, are you addressing it? Are you playing its game? That pinball is what they're showing me right now. Not pinball. You see me with a paddle. I can't think of the name of it, but it's just going back and forth on the board. That's all that energy is. So when you starve it out, you don't feed it. You don't pay attention. You don't play its game. You're going into untouchable energy. Like I said, whenever I'm having to remove these energies and deal with negativity, it's you have to become the commander. I will not tolerate this. I'm not going to play this game. The answer is no. So the question is, can you starve out the thank you, Pong. Can you starve out the negative energy and cut off its oxygen? Cut off its ability to continue to create and breathe into your energy, your aura, your vibration, your creating of your reality. That's where we're really going with this. Can you starve off its oxygen so that it's dead? Dead to you. Or will it starve you out and pull your ego in? Virgo has a lot going on because this is directly conversating with Virgo. But Spirit is saying, remember, it's not necessarily the Virgo energy or that Mercury retrograde or the other retrogrades. All retrogrades have an ability to become your biggest ally when you understand where they harm you, where they stay in that working against you level. Especially with me, I was born with so many ridiculous amount of planets in retrograde that I had to learn, first off, just about everything. I mean, in my chart, everything in communication in that third house I was born with it in retrograde. Then with Mercury in retrograde, I will automatically think to the negative and then just make it like going on a river, like rolling downhill. Shit rolls downhill. I had to learn that as soon as I hear the negative thoughts, I have to shut them off, unless it's something that you need to see that you are doing wrong to yourself, so that you can then correct it and make it your ally. Once you learn how to use a retrograde as your ally, it'll teach you where you harm yourself, where to stop harming yourself, and where to make it to where it gives you the most power of all. Mercury in retrograde is getting into our head too much. You have Nessus, which is in retrograde, and Pallas. Not in Pallas, in Neptune. In Pisces. You have Neptune, which is in retrograde, and it's ruling house. You have Saturn, which is not very strong, in Neptune. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, where we can't seem to start a new life, where we keep doing the same things, where we keep what is that the saying, when you continuously do the same thing, you're insane for never making the change. But this is where we've taught ourselves not to see it. And this is an emotional reset, vibrational shift, because it's going to be going all the way up until until Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 15th, after we've gone through those 13 days of retrograde with 11 planets. And they all come out, and it's of a new moon in Virgo. So this is a reset, people, but it's a reset in your patterns. It's a reset in the way you think. It's a reset in the way your eyes see things. It's a reset in your chakras. Spirit explains to me your sixth house, universally Virgo, which is an anal retentive. It's anal retentive. It's your groups, not your groups. It's your daily activities, your daily mundane tasks. It's your jobs. It's what you do on repeat every day. And without us acknowledging how important that mundane is to creating your reality, you can't change your reality. I was seeing today, just picking through the camera, picking through like TikTok and stuff, where they're talking about having cars that will be flying. Cars. I'm talking Jetsons. Cars that will be flying approximately 2025. So much of your life is changing. We are coming into the new world. Well, what world are we creating? And in order for us to truly get in power, we have to start being in power of our mundane. Spirit says your mundane, your daily rituals, your daily patterns, your daily activities, you know what that is? That's a program. That's the program that you are on. I was also came across in a conversation with somebody when it really just dawned on me, because you create your own reality. Every single human being in this planet is in their own reality. However, yes, in their own right, they exist. But you only interact with things and people that are of your vibration. And it dawned on me because I was sitting there where I was at the moment, and I'm thinking, at the place that I was when this conversation was coming into my mind, and I'm looking around going, this is what I freaking created. I'm like, this is what I created. These people are interacting with me because somehow I've created for some of this low vibrational. This is part of my vibration. And this is what I'm saying to you. If anybody is interacting with you, they are participating in your vibration and what you set. And just like you've started hearing about, the strike, people are wanting to strike the system on the 1st of September. Let's just not go to work. Let's just maybe go and take all of our money out of the bank. Let's just refuse to do all of these things and take part of the system, but they're wanting to do it for one day. That's a problem. And the reason why that's a problem is because one day isn't going to be enough. One day of everybody decided, I'm not going to work today. Well, that's like calling in sick. And because not everybody's going to do it because of that fear. Because of that fear of, well, what will happen if I don't participate? Because you've been drilled to believe that you have to participate. And you know why? You're still playing part of that vibration. You still participate. This is about realizing, you've heard all about the fires everywhere. You've heard about the fires everywhere. You have people who have lives that are, very expensive and may feel like they are, of a higher quality, but there's still shit in that higher quality, just as much as there is when you live in the ghetto. The point is, who are your friends? Who are the people, the places, and the things that you participate with? If you are participating with things that you are like, how did this become part of my reality? That's because you're participating. Stop participating. A vibration cannot reach you. If it's in a lower vibration, in a harming vibration, it cannot reach you if you do not participate. If you choose to realize, I don't have to be in fear. I'm in my power. Hold on. maybe I wasn't. It's time for me to step the hell up into it. Like I said, you got the people who want to do the strike, but then you got so many people who are like, well, you know, what if I'll lose my job? I have rent to pay. I've got this to do. Da, 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 da. And you're going to stay in that vibration because you're still part of it. It's understanding that when you start creating your reality, like I was saying, I was in a place and I'm thinking to myself, this specific part of my life, I participated in making. I need to stop participating in this because I don't want that. That's not the energy I want in my life. Stop making excuses. This is what I'm saying even about myself. This is what I've been saying for the longest amount of time. Enabling. We're afraid to change because we don't know no better. This is about really, are you going to stay in the low part of the vibration of margin? Or are you going to come into the higher part? And maybe shift vibrations. Because something in its own right, like I said, people, places, and things, people live in their own, they live in their own right, but they only participate with you because you're in the same vibrations. So when you move yourself out of those vibrations, it has to change. When we're looking at how we look at the world around us, how we see the world around us, how we think about the world around us, we get into our chakras of these energies and the way the program of the human body is working, and we start to grow into that higher level of spirituality. We start to go, like I said, how many times have I said people set their root chakras in this three-dimensional world? Because that starts with I am safe, I am secure. And then you start moving up into I feel, I do. I do create the life I want. I do this. I do not allow this. You come into the higher ones, you're going to feel this week, especially solar plexus is going to be hit hard. You're getting that sacral solar plexus, sacral chakra. You've got the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown. But it's mainly crown and solar plexus heading boom on just on where are their energies. And if you're dealing with unblocked energies or blocked energies, I'm telling you, like personally, like even in my own self, I am feeling myself break through and like in coughing up, like flu symptoms, spiritual flu symptoms. I am feeling it coming from so deep inside of the solar plexus that it's breaking up and it's coming out of me. But like I'm having to pull it out. This is all part of what we do when we start healing our energies. We start moving forward. It's removing it. This is always about waste removal of low vibrations that we still have contained within us. When we look at the blueprint itself, you have Chiron, that wounded healer, is sitting on the nerve connections of the brain. It had been sitting on the like what's holding the left side and the left side and the right side, or the two atmospheres together. But now it's getting into the way it connects and communicates in the actual nerve system of the brain. Then you're getting into the part of the brain that deals, it's just funny how it works out that way. It's the part of the brain on the north node in Aries is sitting on what works, how your brain deals with patterns. How your brain deals with patterns, the rhythm of those patterns, and your memory. How is your memory activated according to the patterns in which you already are used to working with? Like I said, then going back to the nerve system and what it's telling all the other chakras to do. So this is having to do with, first off, how you're seeing the world, how you're connecting with the world, what you are connecting with, how you're seeing it, and what you're sending forward. Another thing, I know that there's been a lot of people dealing with the overwhelming energies that are coming in, especially as we're getting closer to having those 13 days of 11 planetary energies in retrograde. And as we're coming closer to the Pisces full moon, which is going to bring up everything. And I mean everything. All the freaks come out at night. All of the stuff is coming out. The Spirit said right before I came in to do the show, don't forget the clowns. And for me, it's like the scary It clown. And they're saying this is what's coming up out of people. This is what's coming up out of people because they're still stuck in that vibration. They don't know how to break that vibration. It's part of the pattern that they're stuck in. This is why I was saying last week, dealing with, you're going to start seeing a lot of more addictions and withdrawal symptoms coming in because it's the patterns that they know. It's their comfort zone. Whether it's drinking and alcohol or drugs, or it's overeating or whatever. Whatever is their comfort zones, which are bad, unhealthy patterns, are going to show themselves more, especially right before this full moon, but all the way through this new moon in Virgo. Because this is what the Spirit keeps giving me over and over again. If you're getting if you're feeling your energies of addiction, no matter what it is, and you're feeling overwhelmed by withdrawal, if you're trying to be in the higher vibration, this is just give yourself a break and understand you're breaking a bad pattern. That's really all that this is. But understanding, if you don't address and see and acknowledge the bad pattern, it can't get you to the new vibration. Plain and simple. It can't get you to the new world you're trying to create. People, places, things, your daily routines. Like I've said a million times, some people get up every day, wash theirself, have breakfast, go to work. But what do you do after work? And where is work? Are you completely miserable? This is part of what I'm saying. Are you looking around work going, I created this shithole in my life? What are you viewing the world? How are you viewing the world? The only way that vibration can touch you is if you are participating. When we get into the Taurus energy, we're looking at the esophagus. We're looking at the teeth. The teeth, Spirit is reminding me, is a wall. Just like it's a Saturn energy. Technically, Saturn, like I said, is in retrograde. It's not always making some of the best choices right now. The esophagus is helping to move the energy down through into the body so it can be into digesting. So this is technically, what are you swallowing and sucking up and digesting into your energy? What are you breathing into your vibration? What are you eating in your vibration? What are you choosing to chomp on and make part of your creation? And then we're looking at the fact it's your teeth too. My teeth have been killing me, but my teeth have been killing me because they speak to you about every single organ that you have. Every single organ and every single chakra. So if they're hurting, they're also reminding you they're a wall. Just like Saturn is the skin and the skeleton, it is the wall between you and the outside world. All of this is asking you, how much do you love yourself? How much do you love yourself? How much... I didn't write it down. How much is it self-value or value of self? Because sometimes you got to say it the right way. You can say self-value all you want, but when somebody says you don't value yourself, when and what is making you pay attention to the level of the value you have for your own life, for your own self, for your own breathing, for your own activity? For what you want, what you create. Your teeth are speaking to you about every chakra, warning you that it is part of the bones that is separating you from the outside world. And what are you bringing in versus what are you speaking out? Are you participating? Vista is the spine. Vista is the keys. It's the keys in communication, dealing with Gemini energy. which is Jekyll and Hyde, which is also logic versus emotion. Every energy has two sides to it. Every energy has its high vibration and its low vibration. Part of Jekyll and Hyde and Gemini energy is dealing and ruled by Mercury. Even though Mercury is in retrograde in Virgo, it is still ruled by Mercury. And the spine is Vista, the keys to every door you want to unlock. And the keys, which is Vista, which is connecting to every single chakra, is opening up these chakras and getting their healing. Or completely missing it and not opening the door at all. This is really coming into backbone energy. Not being spineless, standing in truly loving yourself and watching your world change because of that love for self. You've got Venus, which is still in retrograde until the 3rd, the last day of this week, or Sunday technically, when, like I said, I think it's Jupiter that's moving in, and it goes retrograde on the 4th. So I might be wrong on the exact days or exactly, but it's still, no, it's Uranus that is. And then Jupiter will come in shortly after. But this is speaking to you about in the heart. Venus has been in the heart chakra with Juno and with Lilith. But Venus is the one that's in retrograde right now. It's making it extra sensitive. And it's also affecting your vitality on how well you are. Everybody's been getting sick, guys. Everybody's getting sick because Venus is showing you just how much you value yourself versus the world is valuing you. She's not just love. I hate when astrologers talk about Venus as love. Venus speaks to you about what is good for you, what helps you to feel that good energy. She helps you to communicate it, to create it, but she's also going to tell you when it hurts. She's going to tell you who betrayed you. She's going to show you and shove that right up in your face and make sure you feel the pain. Venus in retrograde is definitely going, I'm in my head, making sure you see it. Lilith is all about the fire of your soul in the heart. Are you going to ever connect? And then Juno is the sacrifice and commitment it takes to love self enough to create the reality you want. You get into Virgo energy, where the sun is moving in this week. You have Mercury, which is in retrograde, and you have Pallas. And again, this is all over the pancreas, the liver, the intestines, the colon, the gallbladder, the abdomen. This is your gut. This is your digestion. This is what you are digesting of energy into your life and saying, yes, thank you, I would like more. Even if you are saying into shit that is bad for you. Because you are participating. So thank you. Yes, I would like to have more. What are you bringing into your body, into energy? It's the program in which you are running, your thinking patterns, your communication patterns, your not changing of your mundane activities. These are all patterns, which is technically a program which you are still running on. And if you want to take control, you have to realize, break the pattern, break the program. Programs have to change. It's time for an upgrade. It's time for a reset. Then you have Libra, which has Mars in it, the South Node, and Ceres, which is the kidneys and the circulatory energy. This is talking about the blood moving through the body for oxygen for your ability, period, just ability. And your kidneys, your sacral chakra, relationship zones. I can't get more blunt with you without really just sitting down in a whole session. There's so much going on right now into everything. See, but that's part of it. Diet is key, yes. But in the same sense, when you create your own reality, you're not playing part of the program. You have the ability to go so much further into your energy. We still are part of the program, and this is the idea of what we have to do to keep us healthy. And so we play that part, and it does satisfy us. It does help us. It does lift our vibrations. It does make us healthier. But let me tell you, I've told you all, I don't know if I've told you all, but Matt knows with my pre-diabetes stuff, I'm having problems with all kinds of other things. The only reason I'm on this planet is because I have kept me on this planet, because I have healed myself so many times that I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't have to follow the rules. I'm going to change this, and I'm going to create it to be so. Exactly. There is no limits. You've got to get out of that hive mind thinking, out of that still connected thinking. The more you get into not participating with any of that, the more you get into the loving of yourself and that you are capable. Why should you look outside of yourself for anything? Because it is all so much powerful in here. If we could just learn how to stay in that energy and keep it activated. It's that ego that keeps us participating. It keeps us doing things that are unhealthy. Excuse me. Now let me get into the astrology. You have some good energies this week. You do. You have a major trine going on, or a major trine chain. You have that Mercury energy with Pallas in the beginning until Mercury starts to move away, which is in that 6th house of that Virgo energy, speaking directly with Uranus in the 2nd house, into your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, going over to Pluto. We've been seeing a bit of this breaking up and kind of coming back together. So this is going more or less, you take your mundane, you realize how you're communicating what you're creating, the moment-to-moment activity of what you're creating. You take it into your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, your self-love, your integrity. Then you take that over to the outer world and you show the outer world, no, I'm going to stand in this integrity. And then it goes back over to Mars into activation. This is incredibly powerful energy if you can stand in it. Because like I said, that Mars is at 7th house. This is resetting boundaries, resetting relationships. It can be very healthy if you're willing to stand in it and activate it. You have that Lilith energy in the heart, 5th house of your creativity, standing in your fire. Why are you here if you can't enjoy being here? This is the problem so many people are in. We are still hearing, this is my day-to-day acting, the same old shit. I work my job every day and I come home. No. You weren't put here just to go through Earth school again. You were put here to learn how to activate your true power. You're the most powerful thing. Why do you think all of that other stuff wants your energy? Because you are the most powerful. It's just they know that we're dum-dums and haven't figured out how to truly get out of that dum-dum thinking and get back into taking our power back. So you have that Lilith energy asking you, what do you burn for? What do you want? What do you want to create? What do you enjoy? How do we enjoy our life? And then it's speaking to Chiron, going, step that up into your character. Step that up into the world you want to be. If this is not what you want, why are you still doing this? Why are you still participating? Change what you're participating in. Change the way you are acting. Change your character in this situation. It's also speaking that way with the North Node. Everything you need to know in order to move forward and start a new creation. Coming with, it comes from What burns inside of you? What do you want to be a part of? The fifth house also speaks to you about your inner child, your inner creative energy. It starts with where you meet your tribes, where you meet your lovers. But the whole point is this is a connection, is the connection that you're having with everybody outside of you, something that makes you joyous. Because if not, why are you connecting and participating? This is a positive energy. So it's showing you to stay with those things. But it's also showing you where maybe you need to tweak it so you are getting those things. Then you have Venus, which is in retrograde, which is getting along with Chiron. It's giving it the opportunity of going, you know what, I do believe that we can. Chiron's the wounded healer. He's still very crippled in his way of thinking, very crippled in, this is all I know. But Venus is going, but you don't like these things. You do like these things. So why be what you're not? Helping us redirect. You have some sextiles. The only bad thing about sextiles is when you have too many, you get too comfortable. But we don't have a ton of them. Sextiles are great opportunities. You've had going on for almost 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks now. You've had that Uranus in that second house, speaking to Neptune in the 12th house, which is speaking to the 10th house of Pluto. So going from your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, your liberation, your righteousness, versus now somebody else is in my power. I'm the possession of something else. When you allow, I'm sorry, but when you allow your work to tell you, like, we all have jobs, but I've been saying for freaking 10 years now, yes, I have a part-time job and then I do this full-time. But in my part-time job, I remind them all the time, wait a minute, I work for me. I may technically receive a paycheck from you. And from this time I clock in till this time I clock out, technically, yes, I'm working for you. But ultimately, I work for me. The money and what I get from you is for me. If it doesn't do any good for me, why am I here? Depending on how much you allow other things and people to manipulate you and tell you what you have to do, will depend on the vibration that you are carrying and the life that you will live. This is all part of taking your power back. We're looking at that Uranus energy, which speaks to your money house on a universal scale, which speaks to your manifestation house, all dealing with the way you feel about yourself. Then going over to Neptune in that 12th house. It's healing or it's redo. It's that simple. Healing or denial. Healing or enabling. Stir it however you want. It's one of the two. Healing or not. Change or not change. Then it's going over to the 12th house. To the 10th house. What are you telling the world you are going to create? What are you telling the vibration that you are a vibration of? What will you participate in? The opportunities are here, but it depends on if you can get past fear. If you're still in the idea of, I have to follow suit, then you're not in the vibration of taking that power back, that control yet. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying you're not there, and you can't be there if you're not there. This is something you have to come into in your own right. But the sextile is there. The opportunity is there. Lilith in the 5th house is getting along great with Haumea and that South Node in the 8th house. Setting new rules, walls, boundaries, opening up new avenues to new relationships, and rebirthing. It is a time for rebirthing. It's just, are you rebirthing the same old, stir in a different way, kind of looks nice with different icing? Or are you rebirthing and really stepping into the unknown and changing? You have some major challenges, though. Like I said, Lilith is not getting along with Uranus. That's the fire of your heart and soul at the moment. Venus in retrograde here. Palace. Sacrificing commitment here. In that 5th house, and your creative energy, and your inner child, your inner fun zone, your hobbies and things you want to experience. It is not getting along with Uranus. Your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Do you not believe that you can have the life you want? If you don't, you won't. Do you not believe that you're valued enough or worthy? Because this is something only you can do. And that was Morgan. I just caught that. Spirit put that to my attention, where you said an onion last week. Like I was saying, Spirit gave me an onion. It was just like, keep peeling the layers back. You're not getting to like the seed of your soul if you don't have the courage to just keep peeling those layers back. And this is part of what I'm talking about. We can't change what we are if we're not peeling it, and we're not having the courage to step up to the bat and go, you know what, I'm ready to walk this walk. There's so many people out there that are going to give you these ideas, but then they don't actually walk the walk. And sometimes you're going to get tripped up a million times before you're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize, but that's part of it. This is part of it. I was saying to somebody the other day, everybody knows I've had so many problems with taking care of my mother with her dementia. And she's had heart surgery after heart surgery after heart surgery. And for whatever reason, for 8 years now, we've been trying to get her on Medicaid, and we cannot get it. Yet somehow I get it. Anyway, I'm going, it would help so much if I could just get more, of the adult pull-ups to help her. But no, because she doesn't have the Medicaid, I can't get it under that stuff for free. When I realize, wow, you could have been getting it for yourself the whole time and just giving it to her. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes the smartest answers are right there. You're just not seeing it. I'll be the first one to admit. It's, are we opening up our eyes? Are we truly seeing? Are we truly walking our walk and talking our talk? Are we so busy, caught up in our little life, that we're missing some of the most valuable things that could help us get there? And it's always been there. The vibration, and it's a vibration you have to step into. You have to acknowledge it. If you're not in that vibration, you're not gonna see it. And the challenges are set right now. Like I said, with those fires and stuff, they have it set up at the perfect time of the year when astrologers come out and say, this is when you're going to start seeing the most of, planetary energies having, storms and stuff, earthquakes and stuff. They know exactly when to use that stuff to make sure that it works out for their benefit. Just let's give it a little help to make sure it happened. It looked like it was natural. We've got to step up to the next step. We haven't been in that step. It's time to step up to the next step. This is what I'm trying to break through to you all. You've got that Lilith again, speaking with that Uranus, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. It's not getting along with it. It's making you question it, making you doubt it. But you don't want to do that. You know better. Then it's also not getting along with Saturn. Again, going, well, I can't make the changes because I still believe in the fear. I believe in the society. I believe in, what the system has always taught me. I believe I can't not have a job. I'm not telling you guys to go out and quit your job. I'm saying when you start loving yourself, you start believing in the power of you, and you start loving you, You're going to watch it change. But there's always, you've got to get past that question. You got to get past that fear. This is Saturn, rules, walls, boundaries from the 12th house. You have the power to make the healing, but it's not going to be easy because nobody expects you to do it. Because for one, right here in my paperwork, it's a challenge. It's not getting along. The ability is there. It's just not easy for it to be there. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Anytime I catch scammers coming in, I try to block them and delete them. I don't deal with trolls. I'm so done with trolls these days. I'm done with them. So many of these trolls are out for nothing but your money and give you so much bullshit stories about I can fix you for this amount of money. I'm sitting here doing this for free. I do have people who I have as clients, yes, but I do this for free because that's who I am. I'm here to help people. When it gets into one-on-one, that's a different story. And I'm not running around trying to be a troll, scamming and lying to people to get them to do stuff. Because so many people, especially right now, you have your decoys that are sinking their teeth into the unfortunate people and into people who are already in their fear because they know what this energy is. And they know how much they can rip you off and destroy you. So I'm done. When I see them, I just get rid of them. All right, sorry. You have that North Node in the first house, your character, how you identify with the world, how the world identifies with you, speaking to Pluto in that 10th house, how the society and your career zones and your professional outside world, the authority of the outside world sees you, which is dealing again with that South Node. This is all going. You have to be willing to make the change. The South Node in the 7th house. Are you going to be the peacemaker and enable the situation, or are you going to stand up in your warrior stance with peace and change? This is about rebuilding your future from this moment on, for where we're seeing the world change, for the life you want to create. It's about realizing some things have got to go. Then you have Jupiter in the 2nd house, which is not getting along with Venus. That's that sensitivity in the heart and your emotions and what's deeply important to you. And your ability to create, and your ability to believe in yourself, and your ability for your inner child, and your ability for fun. It is not getting along with the abundance of Jupiter retrograde. That's the one that's going retrograde. I knew I wrote it down somewhere. and that's in the 2nd house. Speaking to your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, what you're speaking into this world, what you're actually vibrating and spelling, putting a spell on and spelling out to the world. Then you have Mars in that 7th house, which is not getting along with Neptune. That's going, well, I want to take action, but I'm a little afraid to. No. This is saying it's time to level up, people. We're moving into different levels of vibrations. We're getting more advanced. No more kitty stuff. No more kindergarten. We have to start being the advanced soldiers, spiritual warriors, spiritual light workers. And it is not all foo-foo. You are going to have, like I was saying, Spirit kept giving me, and they're giving me it again, the craziness coming out of people, trying to manipulate and push you around. Some of their darkest aspects are going to be coming out. Will you enable it and just go, it's okay? No. This is time to change. Yeah, no more kiddie pool. It's time for us not to be a negative Nelly, but if I don't want to be part of its vibration, well, I'm not going to participate, period. I don't see it anymore. I refuse. I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.